Chickens, what would we do without them? Our feathered friends have provided us with some of the best foods of all time for a start. They may not be the smartest birds of all time. You can just draw a line in the dirt and a chicken will be hypnotized by it and kind of just stand there staring. The Surima is a bantam chicken from Malaysia. The bantam is a smaller variety of a particular species, and there are bantam versions of many chickens as well as other birds like ducks. We also use bantam as a weight division in combat sport, and bantamweight is one of the 8 traditional glamour divisions in Western boxing, being the second lightest above flyweight, because chickens weigh more than flies, even the really small chickens. You see, this particular bantam chicken holds the title of the smallest in the world, and they often weigh less than 9 ounces. The Surima originated in the Malaysian state of Kelantan back in the 1950s as a cross between Japanese and Malaysian bantams. Malaysians have long raised small chickens, and they are also known as ayam cantik, which means pretty chickens, named for Rama, the title of the kings of Thailand who, according to legend, brought the first small chickens to Malaysia in ancient times. This breed was finally recognized in 1990. Just 14 years later, the Surima was one of the worst hit birds by the culls during the bird flu epidemic. The breed bounced back and is now established in the United States and France. A true fighter, it seems. Featherless chickens were created in Israel around 20 years ago. And let's just get this part out of the way. They look totally horrifying, like some kind of nightmare creature from a Francis Bacon or Salvador Dali painting. The idea behind the featherless chicken is that it will help to keep them cooler, as these chickens, otherwise known as broiler chickens, have already been genetically modified to have extremely fast heart rates. The super speed heartbeat means that the birds are hungry all the time and so can be force-fed to huge proportions, which drives up profits. The only problem is that if they get too hot, they die, since their hearts wear out very easily. Until this new genetical modification, the unusual practice was to repeatedly pluck the chickens, but this was extremely distressing and painful for the birds. The new breeds, which never grow feathers, are considered more humane. Although, humane by the standards of battery farming genetically modified obese mutant birds for maximum profit, it's all relative after all. The team who developed the birds say they ought to pose no risk to human health, and taste more or less the same. But I guess they would say that. One problem is mating. Males ruffle their feathers to look handsome and attract lady chickens, but without them, males have been too shy to get romantic. Poor guys. Dong Tao sounds like some kind of awesome martial arts fighter that Jean-Claude Van Damme had to defeat in one of his films. Then you may not be surprised to learn that the Dong Tao chicken breed are known to be pretty badass. At least as far as chickens go, these chickens come from Vietnam, where they are also sometimes known as dragon chickens. This is partially due to their most famous feature, a huge pair of thighs that even Beyoncé would be jealous of. Their legs can be as thick as a human wrist, and their meat is a prized delicacy in Vietnam, enjoyed by the country's elite. In fact, a pair of these chickens can cost as much as $2,000. These chickens have a hard time laying eggs and can't do so without special assistance from Dong Tao breeders. As you can imagine, trying to incubate an egg with those massive legs ain't easy either, so they are probably not a great chicken for beginners. They are rare and expensive, but it is said the meat is the best chicken meat of all. Ayam chicken is the dark lord of the chicken world. This all-black fowl is about as goth as a chicken can get. They are pitch black from head to toe and would make amazing extras in a 1980s Sisters of Mercury music video. The coloration is caused by a genetic condition known as fibromelanosis, and the condition triggers hyperpigmentation. And if you think that these chickens are just posers, wearing black jeans just to impress, I can tell you their devotion to the dark side goes more than skin deep. Horror movie enthusiasts, prepare to be amazed. Not only are their skin and feathers black, but their meat, bones, and internal organs are completely black too. Even their blood is a darker shade. The only part of this bird which is not black is in fact the tongue, which is white or gray. Although the eggs laid by this chicken are pretty ordinary colored, that's all the more creepy. Just when you were expecting a normal chick to hatch, out comes Nosferatu. You're probably thinking, I want one of these, right? Well, better save up because they cost around $2,500 each. The giant Brahma is an all-American chicken. All-American other than the fact it was imported from China. But hey, what isn't imported from China these days? These birds became the #1 meat chickens in the USA from the 1850s until the 1930s, and their form and features are all still iconic today. Even though chicken farmers have moved on to more efficient breeds, the so-called American standard of perfection recognizes 3 color varieties: light, dark, and buff. You think that modern demands from social media insisting on perfection are tough? Imagine having a whole organization set up to tell you where you were not looking quite perfect. That's what the American chicken has to live with. They have feathered legs and a pea-comb. And in the beginning, there were at least 12 different names for this breed among different chicken farmers, which got pretty confusing. So a meeting of poultry judges in Boston in 1852 voted, unanimously by the way, to call the species the Brahmaputra, which has to make you wonder just how ridiculous the other 11 names must have been.